Time for a super fun topic, string functions. I can hardly wait. Get that new header in there. Title it string functions. And let's think about what kind of string function we are going to write. Press shift enter. Okay, let's do a greeting function. Okay, write a greeting function that takes a name as the input. Okay. And let's write it together. Okay, so recall let's start a function. You can use def followed by a space. And then let's try the variable, name the function greeting, followed by parentheses, and I'm going to put name as the variable inside, followed by a colon. Okay, so there we have a function called greeting that takes the variable name as input. Press return, you automatically get the 4 tab spaces. Now, think about how you would want to put it together. Okay, well, you're free to pick a greeting. I'm going to define it as the opener, and I will use, I don't know, use the slang "hey there." Not my favorite one, maybe pick something more enticing. And I also want to get a closer because I like sorry, I like punctuation. I was gonna say exponentiation because I'm I'm thinking about math too much, but I like punctuation, and so I'm gonna close it with an exclamation mark. So I've got 3 variables here now: a name, which is the input, the opener, and the closer, and I'm gonna combine those all into a sentence, which is the greeting. So sentence is going to be the F string. Okay, so put in the F. Do this with me. Then the single quote. Now, when you do that, right, F changes colors, you're doing it right. And then I'm simply going to be the opener, followed by the name, followed by the closer. I like the symmetry there. And that's what we're going to return. We're going to return the sentence. Okay, so go ahead and finish out your greeting function. I encourage you to use a different opener, different closer too. And when you're ready, go ahead and run your function. Hopefully it doesn't have any errors. I mean, it's certainly possible to have errors. I think watch for, you want to make sure your F string is blue. It's not blue, like let's see, if I take this off, it's still blue there. If I take this one off, well, now it's not blue. Okay, so there's that. And in this case, even if it was blue, if I press shift enter, you get that EOL, and and there's the arrow, and you can look up at the arrows, and you could probably find that oh, there's a quote there. Okay, other things, if you mess around a lot, your tabbing can end up off. So like, do you see how I spaced that forward one? Now let's see what happens. Press shift enter. It says unindent does not match any outer indentation level, so it tells you an indentation error. So there's a couple things you might see. You could forget your colon, forget your colon, invalid syntax, and again, that little arrow is pretty helpful down there. It's pointing. Okay, so those are just some potential errors to watch out for. And sometimes you could misspell something too, right? Like maybe you called it opener and then you called it open here. That still works as I've tried to find open before. That's interesting that this is still working. I don't know what it's going to do, but a bit, can you put anything in there? I guess so. It's going to be an issue when you actually call the function though. Okay, you try to call it. That's what you're gonna do. Let's call the function. I will call it with the name Nathan. Press shift enter and see, look, oh, that thing is not defined, right? It's totally made up. Okay, let's fix the error. Call it opener to match, the variable above. Then you've got to rerun it, okay? This happens sometimes where if you run this again, you say, well, I fixed it, but I don't understand why it's doing that. Well, you haven't run the cell again. See, changing it is one thing, but you've got to run it to actually for the changes to go into effect. So after I've changed it, now I run it. Now try the greeting. Hey there, Nathan. Kind of cool. Note, by the way, the extra space there, right? You know, I like the symmetry, but it put an extra space. What it means in between the name Nathan and the exclamation. I wouldn't want the extra space there. So I think when you look at your output, you might say, there's a change I want to make. And then that will end that space. Press Shift Enter. Press Shift Enter again. It's just the way I like it. We have a greeting function for really any name. And there you have it. So that's a little introduction to string functions. We're going to do plenty of them up and coming.